Welcome back to King of Movie Review. Today I would like to introduce to you the movie, Cruel Intentions. To win the bet, this guy has to flirt and get into bed with the prettiest girl in school. What will be the end of this peach blossom guy? Let's enjoy this movie together. He is Sebastian. He is an anachronistic, taking advantage of his handsome appearance and six-pack abs to fool around innocent girls. But the only person he doesn't have is his half-sister. Kathryn has an extremely honest appearance. Her reputation in school was extremely well-known. There are even parents who actively contact her to help their daughter. Cecile's mother was one of those people. Her daughter can become a girly girl. As soon as they left, Cecile immediately took off her fake mask. She said there was a mission to give to Sebastian. Last summer, her boyfriend cheated on her and dated Cecile. This made her extremely angry. Kathryn hopes her brother can fascinate and destroy Cecile's reputation and avenge her. Sebastian flatly refused because he lets other friends of Kathryn's do it. Meanwhile, Sebastian has a new goal. It was the daughter of the new principal, Annette. This girl has moved into the house of an uncle of Sebastian. She is an example in the youth, the epitome of chastity and merit. She was like a challenge to Sebastian. Kathryn says you definitely won't get her. Sebastian asked his sister to invite Enjoy. Kathryn made an offer to him. If he fails, he gives her the sports car. Otherwise, she will sleep with him for one night. Sebastian aspires to his sister. He also got into action and driving quickly to his uncle's house. Annette and her uncle had just got back. Sebastian shows off his shooting skills to get Annette's attention. But an overconfident, Annette had no interest at all. She soon heard bad rumors about him. Sebastian felt unhappy and left disappointed. Cecile recently started learning the violin. Her teacher was a student at the famous conservatory named Ronald. Kathryn goes to find Cecile and accidentally discovers that she is acting seductively towards her teacher. There seems to be something unusual about their relationship. She suddenly came up with a plan. That day Kathryn invited Cecile out for a picnic. Cecile said that she had never had intimate gestures with her boyfriend, so she was a little worried. Kathryn asked about the violin teacher and suggested that Cecile take him out to practice. The girl admitted that Ronald had written her a love letter and even told where the letter was hidden. Kathryn boosts their relationship. She agrees to let them meet at their own home. That day Kathryn's revenge plan officially began. At the same time, Sebastian also took another approach. That night he went to the pool and turned on Annette's favorite music. Then he invites her to the pool. When she returned to the pool, she saw Sebastian showing off his body to seduce her. But this trick still didn't affect her. Annette quickly declined the guy's invitation. Of course Sebastian wouldn't give up so easily. He came up with more insidious ways. Accidentally knows that Annette's best friend is a homosexual. His family is very strict, so he does not dare to let others find out his true gender. So Sebastian and his friend plan to trick him. Sebastian let her friend ask this guy to come to the hotel. At night, he took advantage of them falling in love. Then he entered the room and caught them. Sebastian threatens him, wanting him to become his assistant. When meeting Annette, speaking of him, this man had no choice. With the help of Annette's friend, Sebastian has won her favor in her heart. Then he officially dated her. Meanwhile, Kathryn arranged to meet Cecile's mother to talk about how she and Ronald were dating, and also told where the love letter was hidden. Cecile's mother walks into violin class. She was so angry that she interrupted them. Her hand was a love letter from Ronald. Cecile asking how her mother knew about it. She replied that she accidentally discovered it while cleaning. Cecile was extremely angry, cried, and left the classroom. The mother scolded Ronald mercilessly, then fired him immediately. Sebastian and Kathryn soon waited there. Her hand was a letter that Cecile had written. Kathryn's a bet. Cecile wrote him a passionate letter. Ronald was extremely happy. After reading the letter, Kathryn asks him to write a letter back to the one. After Ronald left, Sebastian's heart was fester. He was worried that such a thing would ruin an innocent girl. Kathryn didn't care about the consequences. If she does not achieve the goal, she will definitely not stop. Sebastian, seeing that she could only continue with the plan, he calls Cecile and says he will help her and Ronald. The young girl was so happy that she didn't know she was trapped, then immediately fled to Sebastian's house. Sebastian trades Cecile's juice for wine. When she was drunk, she said that she had the talent to be an actress but needed to be more daring. Somehow he got into bed with her. Meanwhile, Annette still didn't know what was going on. Her feelings for Sebastian are increasing. Cecile feels cheated after going to bed with Sebastian, but Kathryn said that whoever doesn't sleep with a lot of people, they just don't show it. Then incites her to practice more with Sebastian to make Ronald addicted to No Way Out. Cecile believed her words. Sebastian was also extremely coordinated with his sister's plans. With his guidance, Cecile gradually became lecherous. Another day Kathryn walked into Sebastian's room. He was peeking at Annette with binoculars. Kathryn said he was completely captivated. Kathryn asked him that he accepted to lose. Sebastian wouldn't agree. He immediately went outside to Annette, knelt down and kissed her slowly. Annette did not refuse but also regained her composure and pushed him away. Sebastian suddenly felt a little angry. He doesn't understand why they can't be together. Annette frankly said she had feelings for him too, but she thought they hadn't come this far yet. After saying that, she immediately left. In the evening, Sebastian went to Annette's room. He criticized the girl. He said to wait for true love, but love came. He refused. At the same time, he reminded her not to regret it later. Having said that, he now pretends to leave. Annette hesitated then stood in front of him again, locking the door. She took the initiative to take off her clothes. Sebastian saw the girl's sincere eyes and immediately ran out of the room. The next morning Annette packed her things and left. When Sebastian found out, he called Annette's best friend to ask where she was going. Just like that he went to the train station and waited until Annette appeared. That same day, Sebastian finished his bet. But this time he was not the same as before. Sebastian wants a sincere relationship with Annette. Kathryn was furious when she found out. She threatens her brother to tell Annette's father about his past. Sebastian decided to break up so as not to ruin Annette's reputation. Then he went to the place where Annette lived. The girl happily led him to her own room. Sebastian says that his love was a lie. Annette is heartbroken, not wanting to believe what he says. With tears in his eyes, Sebastian said, he has already fallen in love with someone else. But seeing the girl's miserable expression, he couldn't help but move forward. Annette pushed him away. She cried as she chased him out. Sebastian leaves Annette's house. When Kathryn got home, Sebastian had been waiting in his room for quite some time. Sebastian congratulated Kathryn on winning Annette. But she did not expect her sister to say, what she won was not Annette but Sebastian gave up her love. He's just her toy. After hearing Kathryn's words and Sebastian finally understood that he was just a child in her arms. He regretted calling Annette, but she refused to answer the phone. He kept his favorite diary. This is about Kathryn and his bet. After thinking about it, Sebastian decided to give the diary to Annette. He quickly went to Annette's apartment but Annette's mother prevented. The young man burst into the house and called out Annette's name. Annette hid in her room and determined not to come out. With no other choice, Sebastian got Annette's mother to giving her the letter and his diary. In the letter, Sebastian apologizes to Annette and says that the days spent with her have been a really good time for him. He hopes Annette can give you a chance. That night Sebastian stood downstairs waiting all night. The next morning, he left. As soon as Annette saw him, she hurried after him. Meanwhile, Kathryn gently calls Ronald, says that not only did Sebastian sleep with Cecile but he also told the story of the bad guys. Ronald angrily hung up the phone and went out to find Sebastian. Annette caught up with Sebastian and saw the two men fighting. She rushed to stop but she unfortunately pushed to the middle of the road. A taxi speeded up. Now Sebastian hastily pushed her aside. It was he who was hit. Before he was comatose, he told Annette, I love you. Sebastian then unfortunately passed away. During Sebastian's memorial, Kathryn stepped onto the podium to speak, but without saying a word, the people present suddenly stood up and left. She seemed that what had happened, so she quickly went out to look. It seems that everyone is holding a notebook in their hands. It was Sebastian's diary. All of Kathryn's bad behavior is written here. Annette was driving Sebastian's car out of town at the moment. That is the end. Goodbye and see you soon.